Good morning, students.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. So, we were discussing circuit breakers. So, let me present my screen. Is my screen visible? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
And I think I'm audible properly?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, we were discussing circuit breakers. And we have covered some topics that I don't think I should recapitulate because I'll start a new topic on circuit breaker. So these things we have already studied. So what will happen when the short circuit occurs, when voltage is at its zero value, at its peak value, and some problems we have seen, recovery voltage, restriking voltage, you have already discussed all these things. So these things we have covered. So I will start from here, arc interruption theories. Okay, so though I provided you the class notes on this topic, but I will discuss this today. So arc interruption theories, you know, arc is initiated and sustained when the circuit breaker operates in the gap between the fixed contacts and the moving fixed contact and the moving contact. Now, how the arc is interrupted and what are the criteria for arc interruption, that we will discuss. Now, high resistance interruption, you can understand that when the moving contact separates from the fixed contact, then resistance increases. Okay, it starts increasing, and ultimately when the separation is of considerable value, then the arc is extinguished. So effective arc resistance increases with time, current is reduced and become insufficient to maintain the arc. So arc is finally extinguished. So arc resistance can be increased by lengthening. Lengthening means increasing the space. Okay. As the moving contact separates, then the space is increased. Or by cooling. Cooling means if you just those ions and electrons, if they recombine into neutral molecules, or you can, this is one method, and another method is thus to sweep away the charged particles within the gap. Okay, so we will discuss them later on while discussing the different types of circuit breakers. So cooling and splitting the arc. Splitting means the arc chamber is split into parallel paths. Okay. So these are the different types of high resistance interruption. Now another interruption is used in AC circuit breaking. You know, in AC circuit breakers, in AC system, the current reaches naturally after every half cycle. So the arc is interrupted when the natural current is zero, but this is not the case in DC circuit breakers. Okay, so this is in DC circuit breakers, some artificial system is there to make the current zero. Now there are two theories related to this arc interruption. First theory is Slapian's theory or recovery rate theory. This theory assumes that the restriking voltage and build-up of dielectric strength are independent quantities. This will be R, okay, not arc. Now, according to Slepian's theory, the rate at which the dielectric strength of the medium increases. The sentence is not proper. Okay, you write correct sentences. The rate at which if the rate at which the dielectric strength of the medium increases faster than the rate at which the voltage stress rises, the arc will be extinguished. You can understand the cause for generation of this arc is the increase of voltage stress. Okay, voltage gradient is responsible. High voltage gradient is responsible for the initiation of the arc. And if the dielectric strength, what is necessary for extinction of arc? That high dielectric strength. So if the rate of the dielectric strength in the medium increases at a faster rate than the rate at which voltage gradient rises, the arc will be extinguished. Okay, so actually the dielectric strength means the rate at which the ions and electrons combine to form neutral molecules. Okay, this is the dielectric strength. There will be no ions. Good dielectric strength means there will be minimum number of charged particles. So the charged particles which are generated during arc, that should be either neutralized to form neutral molecules, or they should be replaced. They should be just eliminated from that path, and they should be replaced by some neutral molecules. Now another theory is the Casey theory or the energy balance theory. According to this theory, if the rate of heat dissipation between the contacts is greater than the rate at which the heat is generated, the arc will be extinguished. Okay, so rate of heat generation, rate of heat dissipation should be greater than the rate of heat generation. Okay. Now the arc extinction process is influenced by all these phenomena, that means speed of contact separation, materials of the contact, magnitude of arc current. Obviously, if the magnitude of arc current is smaller, then the arc will be extinguished earlier. So energy liberated during arcing, pattern of flow of quenching medium. You will see the pattern is important. There are various patterns of flow of the quenching medium. Suppose for air circuit breaker or oil circuit breaker, the flow may be cross or maybe axial, that we will see later on. Rate of rise of transient recovery voltage, rate of rise of dielectric strength. Dielectric strength, the recovery rate of dielectric strength is very important. The faster rate of recovery of dielectric strength is important for extinction of the arc. Now this is the how much heat can be generated in the core of the arc, that is shown here. Now, rapid increase of dielectric strength or post-zero resistance is necessary for successful interruption of the arc. These things you just read and you will be able to understand. Cooling by the use of gas, or cooling by partitioning the splitting the arc into parallel paths. That means partitioning the length of the arc, partitioning the way where the arc is generated. Okay, we just split the arc chamber into some parallel paths so that the arc can flow through those parallel paths, and ultimately they are extinguished. Cool non-ionized gas or liquid can be forced into the contact space, cooling the ions and electrons and sweeping them away. Now this is an example of, though this is a problem in the form of a problem is given, this is an example of double frequency oscillatory transient. Okay, here we consider the two inductances are there, two capacitances are there. One is the capacitance of the circuit breaker, another is the capacitance of the windings of capacitance between the windings of transformer and earth. Okay. So as there are two capacitances, so double frequency transient will be generated. Now here voltage, total voltage is this one. Okay, the RMS voltage. So what will be the voltage? That voltage is getting divided into two inductances. They are connected in series. So voltage across this one will be L2 into this voltage by this one plus this one, peak voltage. Okay, we have considered. Then what is the voltage across the other one? Either you can voltage across L1 will be this voltage 76.2 root 2 minus 18, or you can just replace this L2 by L1 and find out the voltage across L1. So what will be the equation? Equation will be like this. So you can see that two frequencies are there. So double frequency, if we consider the winding capacitance of the transformer and R, then double frequency transient is established. Now resistance switching. This is very important in what is done in resistance. What is resistance switching? Actually, the arc that is generated in the circuit breaker contacts, that arc is bypassed through the resistance. You see, here we have considered this one as a circuit breaker. So when there is fault here, then circuit breaker contacts will separate. Okay. So as soon as the circuit breaker contacts are separated, this R will be connected into this path. Initially, this R is short circuited. Okay. So it will come into the picture only when the circuit breaker contacts are opened. Okay. Now let us find out for which value of R, what will be the R characteristics. Okay. I think I am audible. Anyone listening? Hello?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Okay, thank you. So now we will find the different values of these resistances. Okay. So it is just a Laplace transform. When this one is one path, this is the another path. Okay. So V by S equal to this, you can understand that I1 into SL plus I1 minus I2 by 1 by CS. And from this loop, we can get this loop means this is open because the R is already connected now. When the moving contact is separated from the fixed contact. So from here, we can get R into I2S and 1 by CS I2S minus I1S. So we get these two equations. Okay. Now rearranging this one and equation 2, we can find out what is I1S, what is I2S. Now I2S is actually the current flowing through R. So we are concerned with I2S only. See, solving those equations, you can easily solve by yourself just by rearranging, and then we find out what is I2S, because it is possible to find out I1S and I2S. All are known are known values except I1S and I2S. So what is the I2S? You just arrange this in this form so that you can do the inverse Laplace transform. So ultimately I2S will be like this. Okay, the full derivation is shown here. You please go through it. Detailed derivation is shown here. Ultimately I2 is here and A and B are constants. Okay. Now if I2 is this one, what is the voltage across this one? Simply I2 into R. This is the voltage across R. So the voltage across the resistance is just multiply this one by R. So this R will cancel out. Ultimately, this one will be this. What is A? A is 1 by 2 CR. B will be 1 by LC minus 1 by 2 CR. This will come from here only. Okay. Just replacing this denominator by A and B. So this is our original equation of the voltage appearing through this resistance R. Now frequency of this oscillation, you can understand frequency of oscillation omega is root 2 B. So Fn will be root 2 B by 2 pi. This is the frequency of oscillation. Now if R is infinity, that means there is no R, no resistance is there. Then what will happen? If there is no R, then which term will become equal to 0? No R means R equal to infinity. There is nothing here. Okay, so R will be infinity. That means A equal to 0 and B equal to 1 by LC. This R equal to infinity. So when there is no resistance, then A equal to 0, B equal to 1 by LC. So the equation is like this. So you can understand the frequency of oscillation is this one and it is undamped. Okay. Now undamped means it will go on continuing with the same magnitude. You know, this is the striking voltage. Okay. the recovery voltage, it will go on oscillating like this. Okay, so voltage across the breaker contacts. This is the voltage across the breaker contacts. Instead of damping down, it will go on oscillating like this when there is no resistance. So the insertion of resistance must be helpful. So in the next scale, let us find out when R is, there is some R, but its value is less than 1 by 2 root over L by C. Okay. So it will be, what will be the value? The value, this will be actually positive. Okay, this value will be positive. This value for B will be positive. Okay, because B will be positive when this value is greater than this one. From here we have actually got this value. So when B is positive, the oscillation is underdamped. It will be like this. Ultimately, the voltage will reach to the system voltage. See, this is the system voltage. This frequency, high frequency transient will die down and it will reach here. So the resistance of R should be less than this value. What will happen when this R equal to this one? When this R equal to this one, then third case, when R equal to this value, in that case, B equal to 0. Okay. So if B equal to 0, V2 equal to V into it 1 minus e to the power minus 80. Okay. Actually, we have put here, we cannot put B equal to 0. Here we put B equal to 0. So it will be, oscillation will be critically damped. Restriking voltage starts from 0 and rises exponentially to the system voltage or the circuit voltage. It will, instead of rising here, it will reach, it is critically damped, it will reach here. Okay. Now, the last case, when R is this one, that means B is negative. When B is negative, that means resistance is greater than this value, 1 by 2 root over L by C. Then the oscillation is overdamped and the arc is not quenched at all. Okay. So it is not like that. We can use any value of resistance that will help in extinction of the arc. Okay. Because actually, according to Casey theory, you know, it tells that rate of heat dissipation should be more than the rate of heat degeneration. So heat is dissipated actually through R. So how R is inserted? This is one system. When fixed contact and moving contact are in contact with each other, then the R is not inserted. R has no purpose. When the circuit breaker actually operates, when moving contact separates, then arc is bypassed through this resistance. Here double contact mechanism is there. Initially this F is in contact with M. Then what happened? When this separates, actually P gets in touch with F and the arc is bypassed through this resistance. So there are two methods for connection of the resistance R. Okay. This is all about the suitable values for this resistance. What will happen when R takes different values? Now, there are some phenomena which are of great importance in circuit breakers. One phenomena is interruption of small capacitor currents. Okay, small capacitor currents, when the capacitive current is interrupted, then sometimes it is observed that the voltage rises to very high values. Okay. So let us see why and how it rises. Now let us directly go to this you study. Let us go to the circuit. Now in this circuit, this is the capacitive load. I have told you that this occurs only during the capacitive load interruption. This is the capacitive load. Okay. This is the load. Okay, this is the capacitors of the circuit breaker and this is the circuit breaker. Okay. So when this is in contact, then the normal voltage, this voltage was appearing across this capacitance and that was the voltage across this load. So we can say that Vg equal to Vc and that is equal to the system voltage when the circuit breakers are in touch with each other. That means the circuit breaker is not operated. Circuit breaker is said to be operated when one contact is separated from the other. Now, when the contacts are closed, then Vg equal to Vc. Now, when the contacts are separated, what is this voltage across the circuit breaker? This voltage VR is equal to VG minus VC. Isn't it? Can you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So this voltage, recovery voltage, circuit breaker voltage, when the contacts are separated, then this VR equal to VG minus VC. Okay. So we can write that when the breakers are open, this recovery voltage VR equal to VG minus VC. Now, let us understand this phenomena with the help of, we will also see the diagrams. Now, let us consider that when the circuit breakers are separated, the voltage, system voltage V, VG and VC equal to 1 per unit. Okay, it may be 230 kV, it may be any voltage, we consider it as 1 per unit. So, when these were in touch, this was 1 per unit, VC was also 1 per unit. Now, what will happen? Sorry. At the time of current interruption, the line to ground voltage stored in the capacitor. So what will happen to the capacitor voltage when this is open? When this is open, capacitor voltage will remain at 1, isn't it? Because it is not connected to any other source. Now it is open. But this VG will vary sinusoidally because it is connected to the source. So after this is open, remember this will be kept at 1 per unit, and this voltage will go on varying sinusoidally according to the system voltage. Okay. Now the circuit is open, C load, that means this capacitive load will carry a positive charge. We consider 1 per unit, positive charge, and voltage across it will remain 1 per unit. But system voltage is oscillate with normal oscillation. VG will go on oscillating. Okay. So what will happen? See this figure. Where when the circuit breaker contacts are open, it is opened at this point when natural current equal to 0. This bold line is the bold black line is the current, and this dotted line is the system voltage. Okay. So initially when the circuit breakers are not operated, all are equal. System voltage was equal to voltage across the capacitor, it was equal to voltage across the load. Now when the contacts are opened, what happened? I told you that the voltage at the capacitor, it will remain at 1. So it is getting fixed at 1. It will not vary because it is not connected to any other source. But the voltage VG, this voltage will go on varying sinusoidally like this voltage. So this VG will go on varying like this. This is actually VG. Okay, why it is written equal to VC? This is written here. Up to this one, it is true. VG equal to VC. But after this one, VG is no longer equal to VC. VC is fixed at this value. VG will go on varying sinusoidally. Okay. So what will happen? This is kept fixed here, and this value VG is going on varying like this. Now, if fast restrike occurs here, okay, let us see what is written. Half a cycle later, VG become negative. Now, what happens? At this point, the circuit breaker is operated. So, half a cycle later means from here to here. So, at this point, what happens? This VG has become negative maximum. Okay. And the recovery voltage across the circuit breaker. What is the recovery voltage across the circuit breaker at this instant? At this instant, the recovery voltage across the circuit breaker is always VG minus VC. Okay, but VC is constant, but VG is varying sinusoidally. So, after half cycle, the circuit breaker is operated, means at this point. What will happen at this point? Here is always VG minus VC. But what is VG now? VG now is minus 1. Okay. And what is VC? VC is kept fixed at 1. So what is VR? VR is VG minus VC. VG is minus 1, and this one is also minus 1. Minus a plus 1. That means minus 1, minus 1. That means VR equal to minus 2. So can you understand that the recovery voltage after half cycle, it reaches to the value of minus 2. Okay,
Ye-
please listen. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So after half cycle, see the recovery voltage is changing. After half cycle, it has become -2. Now, if the first restrike occurs at -2, if this recovery voltage is -2, then what can be the maximum value of the restriking voltage? That you have already seen in the last class. The maximum value of the restriking voltage can be twice the value, not exactly twice, but almost twice. Okay, if the recovery voltage is this one, the restriking voltage can be almost twice the value. So if the restrike occurs here, the maximum value can be 2 times of this one. So it can be -4. Actually, we are considering the most severe case. Okay. It may not happen that always this will be such severe, but we are considering the most severe case. So what can be the maximum value of the striking voltage? It can be 2 times of this maximum voltage, so -4. So see here it is written the recovery voltage may be sufficient to restrike the arc. Therefore, capacitor load will discharge through the arc, and the amplitude of the initial voltage transient is twice the instantaneous recovery voltage. This is the first restrike. Okay. So it will be -4. It can be -4. Okay. Now, if the voltage across this one is -4, voltage across this one is -4, what is the voltage across the initially the voltage was here was VC. So what will be the voltage across capacitor? It will be -4 plus 1, because maximum value is -4. Okay, now see, if the voltage here becomes -4, then that means it is connected to this one. So -4, it is having +1. Actually, it is related to the charge stored in the capacitor. Okay, so -4 plus 1, then it becomes, what is the voltage across the capacitor? It becomes -3. Okay, why? Because it can be 2 times. So -4, and initially it was voltage inside the capacitor +1. So now the voltage, it is connected to a system having -4 value. So -4 plus 1, voltage across the capacitor is, capacitor means capacitive load, that is -3. So VC will swing from +1 to -4 times the system voltage. Okay, because the system voltage is -4. System voltage means the voltage across the recovery voltage, voltage across the circuit breaker. It is -4, and the voltage across the capacitive load, it was initially +1. So it will oscillate from +1 to -4, and the capacitor will be left with a charge corresponding to +1 -4, that is -3 per unit. Okay. So here it is shown that after half cycle, the capacitor voltage is -3. Now, following this, after one half of a cycle, when the system voltage reaches to positive peak, now we will again go to what happens to after half a cycle. After half a cycle, again, see, this is first half cycle, this is the second half cycle. Second half cycle, in the first half cycle, Vg was -1. In the second half cycle, again, Vg is +1. Okay. Now Vg is +1, but Vc is -3 only. Okay. Now, so what is VR? VR is always Vg minus Vc. So Vg is +1, Vc is -3. So +1 minus of -3. What will be the voltage across recovery voltage across the breaker? So it will be 1 minus of -3. That means 1 plus 3. That means 4. So now the voltage across the circuit breaker contacts, it will be +4. Okay. That means after full one cycle of the circuit breaker operation. Okay. Now it is shown here. It is +4. Okay. This is the voltage across the circuit breaker contact. This blue line is shown the recovery voltage. Okay. So it is reached to +4. Now again, this is +4. how you calculated the voltage across the capacitive load here? The same thing, same way we calculate here. The voltage across the circuit breaker contacts is +4 and the voltage in the capacitive load is -3. So what will be the voltage if this is +4, and if the secondary strike occurs here, the voltage can be 2 times of this voltage, so it can be +8. So the voltage across this one is now +8 and voltage here is -3. So +8 -3, what it becomes? +5. Okay. So the voltage, after, if the secondary strike occurs at current 0, the capacitor will be left with a voltage of +5. So capacitor voltage is +5. Actually, capacitor, it is not capacitor voltage, it is the capacitive load voltage. Okay. So very often this comes, and in most cases student does not understand this phenomena. Okay, they write something in general, but if you don't clearly clarify this one with the help of diagram, both this diagram and the circuit diagram is essential. Okay, this type of circuit diagram is essential for understanding this one. Okay. Again, by showing this one, I am repeating. See, here the circuit breaker is operated. What happens? VG will go on like this, but the capacitive load VC, it will remain fixed at 1 because now the contacts are open. Now after half cycle, when VG has reached to -1, so and capacitor voltage is 1, so what will be VR? It will be -2. Okay, -1 minus of this one. Okay, so it will be -2, and what will, if the first restrike occurs, what is this voltage across the circuit breaker contact? It can be -4. Okay, now initial voltage in the capacitive load was +1 and voltage across, now it is connected to the voltage across the circuit breaker contacts, which is -4. So -4 + 1, it becomes -3. Okay, and again when it becomes -3, after half a cycle from this point, again VG reaches to +1. So the voltage across the circuit breaker contacts, it is VG minus VC. Again, always it is VG minus VC. So this is VG minus VC. So +1 minus of -3, it becomes +4. So the voltage across circuit breaker contacts is +4, and if secondary strike occurs, maximum value it can be reached +8. So voltage across the capacitive load was -3. So +8 -3, it becomes +5. In this way, there is successive rise in voltage. But does it mean that this capacitive load voltage will go on increasing? No, because before it reaches such severe value, the final arc extinction will take place, and also the resistance present in the circuit damps down the high frequency oscillation sharply. But you can understand that voltage, extremely high voltage can be reached across the circuit breaker contacts and also across the capacitive load. Okay. Now this is one phenomena. Another phenomena is current chopping. Current chopping is the result of premature extinction of the power frequency current before a natural current 0. Now, when the arc is extinguished, when the natural current is 0. Okay, because if it is extinguished at high values of current, then that energy will be transformed into electrostatic energy, which will again there will be problem in extinction of the arc. So the arc extinction is done at current 0. Now sometimes, especially it is observed in AR plus circuit breaker. Okay, that the air is put or it is sent into the arc chamber in such a high speed that it before the natural current is 0, the arc is extinguished. Okay. Now what happens? It will be okay. Let us find out the theory behind it. See, this is the voltage V2 across C2. So what will be the voltage is V2 across C2 at the instant when current is chopped. Current is chopped means current is before the natural current 0, the current is made artificially zero. Okay. So it has a value of Vc, the total energy, the total energy across this one. This is a circuit breaker contact. So total energy is stored here is half Cv square and half Li square. So this value will get transformed into other forms of energy. So the maximum value of V2 will occur when all the energy is stored in the electric field and is given by this one. So this whole energy that was flowing due to current also, that was there for the flow of current also, that total will change into these values. So this voltage will be transformed, this energy will be transformed into this energy, and so this will be equal to this one, because before, when the current was flowing, arc current was flowing, this was the total energy. When the arc is extinguished by it is called premature extinction, and suddenly the current is made zero, there is no current, so this will be the energy. So very high voltage may be developed. What is that? V2. V2 is the voltage across the contacts when the arc is, when the current is, see, where if the arc is extinguished when the natural current is zero, this part will be not there. Okay, but if it is extinguished at any value of current, the whole energy will be transformed into this energy, and this will be the voltage. Okay, from this expression you may not understand how, that this voltage is very high. So one example has been given. This is a 132 kV transformer, and it has been with peak magnetizing current of 18 ampere, and these values are given. Okay, the additional voltage rise due to chopping is about 1200 kV. It becomes 68000 into 18. Okay, if it occurs at this value of current, so the such high value 1200 kV will be generated in a 132 kV transformer. Okay, so this is very high, so this voltage will be very high. So you can understand, you will be able to understand if I show you the graph. Before that, let us see what is written here. The circuit breaker must therefore be designed so that contact gap breaks down the voltages which are much less than this. That is, at voltages below the insulation level of the system. You can understand it is a very high voltage, so it will cause damage to the equipment. So resistance switching, when linear or non-linear reactances are connected across the main gap by the arc itself, reduces these over voltages. So the resistance, sometimes the resistance helps in reducing this high voltage. See, this is the figure for current chopping. See, this is the current waveform. Naturally, it is reaching zero at this position, so the arc will be extinguished at this position. But if the arc is extinguished before, say first the arc is extinguished here. Okay, how? Of course, artificially. It occurs, I told you, in air blast circuit breaker. Air is swept in such a high speed that it causes arc, first discharge, it causes arc current to be zero at any other point. It should be made zero at this point, but instead of that, suppose it has become zero at this point. So what will happen? This total energy, half Li square, that will be converted into half Cv square. So that voltage V is very high. Okay, so it is like this. It can reach up to this value. This is the prospective values of voltages with chopping, that is Vc. Okay, because this energy has transformed to this energy. Okay, so it can reach the twice the value, it can reach this one. Okay, as soon as it is getting zero, then the voltage is increasing across the contacts, is increasing at a very high value. Okay, because whole electromagnetic energy is transformed into electrostatic energy. Now this high voltage in the gap again can restrike the arc. Momentarily arc current becomes zero, but this high voltage, you know, the gap becomes very negligible. So voltage gradient will be very high, and the voltage gradient will be responsible for the initiation of the arc. Now with such value of high voltage, suddenly the voltage is increased because this energy which is there due to current flow, it is transformed into this energy. So voltage has increased. So the voltage gradient becomes very high. It again re-establishes the arc. What we call restriking has taken place. Arc has restrike. That means the arc has been re-established. If the arc is re-established, then again the arc current will reach to some value, this value. Again, what happens? The arc before natural current zero, the arc is again chopped. We say it is chopped. Arc current is chopped. Okay, so arc current is becoming zero. Again, when it is becoming zero, again it has the voltage becomes very high. So it but not as high as the previous one. It will be like this because the current is actually decreasing in magnitude. So the voltage will be little bit less than the first one. So here the rise in voltage will be like this. In this way, after multiple chops, ultimately when the current naturally reaches zero, then the voltage will also reach zero, because this current this zero current, zero energy, it cannot be transformed into any other energy. So when the current is zero, it actually the voltage reaches to the system voltage. Okay, so this is the current chopping. Okay, current chopping is nothing but when the current is chopped or made forcefully zero before the natural current zero. It is a dangerous condition because if the current is chopped at any other value other than natural current zero, high voltages will be established. Okay, this is called the current chopping phenomenon.
So, ma'am, in our practical life, do you chop the current at only at natural zero crossing, or we chop at that the figure is
No,
shown
we chop
there?
it is desirable current is always chopped as natural zero. Okay. Otherwise, in air blast circuit breaker, on in other circuit breakers also it may occur. So see, say in air blast circuit breaker, you cannot inject air at very high speed. Then this voltage will, though momentarily, but momentarily a very high voltage may be dangerous. So you must inject the blast in at appropriate speed. Okay, and naturally say the distance is also increasing, so naturally the voltage gradient automatically will become zero, and this will also become zero. Natural current will ultimately become zero, but this is very momentarily this phenomena takes place. Okay, and
Yes, ma'am.
chopping is always done at natural current zero in AC circuit breakers. Okay, but in DC circuit breakers some extra elements are incorporated to create artificial current zero.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. This is one example of this very high voltage. So you can see in 100 kV, you go through this problem. It is exactly same energy stored in the inductance, half Li square. That is getting transformed into half CV square. And from there, you find out what is V. V is coming as 393. So in a 100 kV transformer, voltage is 393. Okay. So this may be dangerous. Now, the rating of circuit breakers. Okay, so rating of circuit breakers, rating actually you can study from any book, and the rating is also given here. So voltage rating, normal RMS voltage, that you can always understand. Now sometimes small problems are given on this rating of the of the circuit breakers. See, normal voltage, you can understand what is normal voltage. That is the rated voltage that at which circuit breaker is operated. Power frequency, withstand voltage. What is the maximum voltage it can withstand at power frequency, not transient frequency. Impulse withstand voltage. See, voltage, some voltage it can go on withstand, go on, we can continuously apply without any damage, but very high voltage you can also apply it, but momentarily. Okay, but momentarily also, if you apply the voltage beyond its limit, then there will be damage. So impulse resistant voltage is the momentarily high voltage that you can apply across the circuit breaker contacts. So how much voltage it can withstand momentarily, not continuously. Now current rating, continuous current. the current rating of the circuit breaker, momentary current, what is the maximum value of the current it can withstand momentarily, and breaking current. Breaking current, I have shown you in the last class that there are two phenomena. One is this one, DC component, another is AC component. Okay, from these equations you can understand. So there will be two types of current. One is symmetrical breaking current. Symmetrical breaking current is this current which will go on like this, steady state current. Another current will be the DC component. Okay, one is DC, another is AC component. Now DC component, it decreases, and AC component, it goes on with the same frequency. So asymmetrical current is the resultant of the AC and DC component. This symmetrical component is only the RMS value of the AC component. Asymmetrical breaking current is the RMS value of the total current. That means considering the DC and the AC current. Okay, RMS value of the AC current. Now, instead of breaking current, sometimes you are asked to find out breaking capacity. Breaking capacity will be nothing but just you have to multiply it by the voltage, V into I. Okay, capacity. Now, so this we have already studied. Now, breaking capacity, just what I told you, it is not the current, though it is written current, but you have to multiply it by the voltage. Okay. What is making current? Making current, I told you that it is a peak of the major current loop, including the DC component. That means it is the peak value of this one. Okay. It is almost 1.8 times, not twice, but 1.8 times of this maximum value. Okay. So maximum value of DC current, also maximum value of the AC current. They are same. So this is the making current. So it is 1.8 into √2 times the symmetrical breaking current. Symmetrical breaking current in RMS. That's why we are multiplying it by √2. So it is 2.55 times the symmetrical breaking current. RMS value of the symmetrical breaking current. Okay. If we say symmetrical breaking current, it actually means RMS value only. Now, speed of operation usually expressed in multiples of full cycles of supply frequency spent between trip coil energization and beginning of contact separation. That means when the trip coil is energized, that means it has received the signal that there is some fault. So from that time till the time the contacts are separated, beginning of contact separation. Okay, these actual definition you please study from any book. Now this is the duty cycle. It is the time interval between successive trips. Okay, and this is given, a typical example is given. This is opening operation. What is the time between the opening operation and the closing operation? And CO means closing followed by opening. You know, for auto recloser, this reclosing functions are there. It should be open again after some time. It should be closed again. If there is fault passes, then again it will open. And the typical timings are given here. Okay, and this time will vary. See, this time small t can be 3 minutes, though for circuit breakers which are not meant for rapid recloser, and there are some circuit breakers which are meant for rapid reclosers. In that case, this time should be very small, 0.3 seconds. Okay, that will be given, okay, in the circuit breaker rating. So this is also t will be 15 seconds for circuit breaker, not to be used for rapid auto recloser. Okay, so different types of ratings are given, and this is an example of 145 kV circuit breaker, and what type of breaker it is not given. Rated normal current, breaking current. From here you can get an example how the rating of a circuit breaker is given. Okay, so rating you please study from any book, and you will find some small problems in many books. Okay, just if you remember all these values, say this is very important, this you should remember. Sometimes the problems will be given that, say, circuit breaker, say 11 kV 500 MVA circuit breaker is given, then you have to determine the symmetrical current, asymmetrical current. Sometimes DC component is given, say 50% DC component, and all these things you have to find out. The peak current rating, short time current rating, all these things you have to find out. Okay. Peak current rating means all, or asymmetrical breaking current. Asymmetrical breaking current will be this one. If you are asked to find out asymmetrical breaking capacity, then you have to multiply it by the system voltage, and you have to you may be given some small problems, maximum marks 3 or 4 marks. Okay, so maybe some small problems will be you may be given from this concept, thus the transfer of energy when current chopping occurs and all these things. Okay, so I will end up the class here. Next day I will start different types of circuit breakers. Okay, these are the all this is the general theory of the circuit breakers. Clear? So this is
Yes,
not
ma'am.
specific for any circuit breaker. So next class we'll see different circuit breakers. Air circuit, we'll start with air or oil circuit breaker, and then we'll go to sulfur hexafluoride circuit breaker. We can go to vacuum circuit breaker, DC circuit breaker. Though the technology is not very well developed in DC circuit breakers, but we'll give some preliminary ideas. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
1 minute. Okay. So, how many students are present? Only 19 students are present today.
Actually, ma'am, today there is a campus interview going on. That's why some students will not be able to join.
It's okay. Just 1 minute. Let me see whether I have taken those who have joined late. Pavan Kumar, is there present? Pavan Kumar?
Yes, ma'am.
What is your roll number?
1147, ma'am.
There is another Pavan in your class, isn't it?
Ma'am, he is Pawan Kumar Barnawal.
Barnwal. You are only Pavan Kumar.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So you can leave. No problem. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.